Hi guys, I'm Dr. Monisha. Welcome to One Question at a Time series where we'll be discussing only one question within a short span of time. We'll go on to the question. Postganglionic nerve fibers to the parotid gland is supplied by. They are asking about the postganglionic nerve fibers. Okay. Um, to the parotid gland is supplied by whether it is glossopharyngeal nerve or auriculotemporal nerve or both of the above or none of the above. Okay. um, so we'll discuss something about the parotid gland. Like any other organ in our body, parotid gland has a sensory supply, has a motor supply, and in addition to that, it has a secretomotor supply, which is responsible for its secretions, be it increasing the secretions or decreasing the secretions. Okay, so coming back to the secretomotor pathway, we have a sympathetic pathway and a parasympathetic pathway. As we all know, the parasympathetic pathway is for increasing the secretions and for diluting the secretions. Okay, whereas the sympathetic pathway is for decreasing the secretions and for increasing the um, viscosity of the secretions. In other words, it reduces the wateriness of the secretions or it increases the viscosity of the secretions. Okay, so we have sympathetic and parasympathetic. So we'll discuss about the parasympathetic pathway, which is very boring as we all know, but also is very important. So we'll discuss about the parasympathetic pathway to the parotid. The question is about the postganglionic nerve fibers. Please remember that. Okay. So we'll discuss about the parasympathetic pathway. We have the preganglionic nerve fibers and the postganglionic nerve fibers. The preganglionic nerve fiber is the glossopharyngeal nerve. Okay, from the inferior salivatory nucleus. Just remember, parotid is a major salivary gland, and so the nucleus is the inferior salivatory nucleus. So the glossopharyngeal nerve has its origin from many of the nucleus depending on its function. For this secretomotor pathway of the parotid, the nucleus is the inferior salivatory nucleus, which has a function of general visceral efferent. Okay, so remember this. So the glossopharyngeal nerve from the inferior salivatory nucleus forms a tympanic plexus within the middle ear, and from the plexus forms the lesser petrosal nerve, which comes out of the foramen ovale. So the information is traveling via the glossopharyngeal nerve and through the lesser petrosal nerve. It is coming out of the foramen ovale, where it comes in contact with the mandibular nerve, and the information is traveling via the mandibular nerve. So one of the branch of mandibular nerve from the trunk of mandibular nerve is the nerve to medial pterygoid, where we have the ganglion, otic ganglion. So where is the otic ganglion situated? It is situated in one of the branches from the trunk of the mandibular nerve, that is the nerve to medial pterygoid. So the otic ganglion is situated in the nerve to medial pterygoid. So the information there synapses with the neurons in the otic ganglion. Okay, and so the information is traveling via the postganglionic fibers, which was asked in the question. The information is traveling via the postganglionic fibers from the otic ganglion through the auriculotemporal nerve, which is also a branch of mandibular nerve, to the parotid. So now tell me, What is the preganglionic nerve fiber here? The glossopharyngeal nerve. So the information is handed over to the otic ganglion. Okay, the information is handed over to the otic ganglion. From there, the postganglionic nerve fibers arises and travels via the auriculotemporal nerve to supply the parotid. Okay, so through this pathway, what is the information is to increase the secretions. The information is to increase the secretions. Okay, so what about the sympathetic pathway? Okay, so the preganglionic fibers from the T1 spinal segment, the preganglionic fibers from the T1 spinal segment synapses in the sympathetic ganglion, okay, superior cervical sympathetic ganglion, which will not go more deeply now. So the postganglionic fibers from the superior cervical sympathetic ganglion forms a plexus around the middle meningeal artery, which is a branch of maxillary artery. Okay, maxillary artery, which for another information, it is between the two roots of the auriculotemporal nerve. The middle meningeal artery is between the two roots, as you can see in this picture, is between the two roots of the auriculotemporal nerve, and then the postganglionic nerve fibers again travels via the auriculotemporal nerve. See, again travels via the auriculotemporal nerve to the parotid. So anyway, the postganglionic nerve fiber is going to be the auriculotemporal nerve, which is a branch of mandibular nerve. So we have come to the answer to this question. So what is the position of the otic ganglion? If you see, if you read about the relations of mandibular nerve, okay, if this is your skull looking from above and we are taking a coronal section, okay, so you are looking at the skull like this. So here is your this is your skull, okay, and here is your mandibular nerve, okay. When you read about the relations of mandibular nerve, it is said that to its medial is your otic ganglion. Why it is said like that? Because one of the branches from the trunk of the mandibular nerve is a nerve to medial pterygoid, which is a medial branch, and the otic ganglion is situated in the nerve to the medial pterygoid. And when you read about the otic ganglion, one of its lateral relations will be the mandibular nerve. Okay, so this is about the positional relation of otic ganglion. And so one another term is that topographically. See, topographically it is seen as if the information is carried by the mandibular nerve. From the outside, it will look as if the information is carried by the mandibular nerve, but functionally, the information is provided by the glossopharyngeal nerve. It is like like that. The information is actually provided by the glossopharyngeal nerve, but it will look like it is carried by the mandibular nerve because of its postganglionic fibers. Okay, now let us see the cadaveric picture of the otic ganglion. Okay, very confusing picture here. Okay, so this is a foramen ovale, and here is a mandibular nerve coming out. Okay, and here is a nerve to the medial pterygoid. So this Gunda part is your otic ganglion. So as we all know, mandibular nerve divides into a small anterior division and a large posterior division, and the large posterior division further divides into the lingual nerve and inferior alveolar nerve. So here is a lingual nerve and here is the inferior. How did I say this is a lingual nerve? One thing is that it is anterior and inferior alveolar nerve is a little bit posterior. And the other thing is the lingual nerve receives a communication of chorda tympani nerve on its posterior aspect. Okay, can you see it here? The lingual nerve receives a communication of chorda tympani nerve on its posterior aspect. So this must be the lingual nerve and this must be the other one should be the inferior alveolar nerve. And here is a medial pterygoid muscle. So this must be the nerve to the medial pterygoid, and so this Gundu part must be the aortic ganglion. If any picture-based questions was asked, you can answer this. So moving on to the next picture. So now tell me which one is which one. Okay, what must be this one? This must be lingual nerve because it is receiving a communication of chorda tympani nerve. And what is this one? This is the inferior alveolar nerve. And what is this muscle? This is a medial pterygoid muscle. So what must be this one? This must be the nerve to medial pterygoid. Okay, this must be the nerve to medial pterygoid. So what must be this one? This must be the aortic ganglion. So what is this Gundu structure running behind? What is this structure running behind? So this is the maxillary artery. We saw the middle meningeal artery, the sympathetic plexus around the middle meningeal artery. So this is the maxillary artery which gives rise to one of its branches, the middle meningeal artery. So coming back to the question, suppose ganglionic nerve fibers to the parotid gland is supplied by what? Glossopharyngeal nerve or auriculotemporal nerve? Both of the above, none of the above. The answer is auriculotemporal nerve because it carries the postganglionic nerve fibers. So coming back to the end of this session, as I said, one of the branches from the trunk of the mandibular nerve. This is a trunk of the mandibular nerve, and one of the branches from the trunk of the mandibular nerve is the nerve to medial pterygoid. What is the other branch from the trunk of the mandibular nerve that goes again back into the skull? What is the other branch from the trunk of the mandibular nerve? Okay, that is for you to ponder. Okay, thank you guys. We'll come back again with a interesting question. Thank you.